All right. What's up, everybody? This is the Grand Line Gazette, where we talk about One Piece every damn day. We're not experts, you guys are, so let us know how you guys feel about the show. It's a new show, but we're still doing the same old thing, talking about manga chapters, talking about episode reviews, talking about theories and discussions. That's Kev. I'm Corey. We're talking about chapter 1145. If you guys like manga drops, spoilers, theories, discussions, anything like that, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know how you guys felt about the chapter. As always, Kev helps us get started with the cover story. So, Kev, what's going on here?
Yep. So chapter 1145, Fire on Tree Route number 8 of the 2nd Forest District. So we're just getting a little bit more information just from that as well. Um, I mean, that's how specific and grid-like Elbaf is. It's not just some guys in a village. It's like, no, we have this actually down to a T. We're back on Wano with Yamato and his cover story. P10 is alive, volume 30. We have Alti and page 1 just laying on the ground. Page 1 is broken. Now, these are important characters to us because, I mean, one of the bigger questions leaving Wano is who protects it? Who protects it when we are gone? Luffy's gone. We just saw the scabbards get dog walked by one admiral, and it was not looking good. Shanks had to interfere. So this is interesting. I do like the story back in Wano, and this is kind of like our first cover story that we're really taking part in week by week, really able to absorb it.
Yeah.
So this is quite interesting. What are your thoughts?
The protector of Wano. I didn't think about this in the pre-show, but yeah, we talked about page 1. Not page 1. We talked about Who's Who before. How he used to be a CP agent, and he also has the feral cat devil fruit, just like Lucci. I'm honestly thinking like he's comparable to strength to Lucci pre like awakening. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
okay.
not Water 7 Lucci, but right before the awakening, like time skip, we don't see Lucci kind of thing. Like who's a threat, and Yamato easily handled that. So it's like, okay, you guys are definitely in good hands here. A big theory right now, as we move on to Elbaf, ancient giants, and it just so happens 2 chapters after we really start locking in on the horns on these giants, like talking about them multiple times a chapter, we get a cover story where all 3 figures have ancient giant horns. So that's got to mean something. You talked about Who's Who being, page 1 being in bad shape. He looks annoyed, as always, with Ulti. He's giving her the side eye. But I do like their dynamic. I mentioned before that I like page 1 as a character, as a concept. Like, hey, I like your design with like the hat and everything. I like the fight you had with Sanji back when he was Soba Mask. Like, I like these characters. Her fight with Nami, I thought went really well. So I'm interested to see their future. They were on Kaido's side, but they were also orphaned because their dad died and lost to Ace. So it's like,
who is also like best friends with Yamato as well.
Best friends with Yamato and Luffy's brother. So it's like, you guys did dirt, but everybody's done dirt, and we've seen people getting forgiven for less. You know what I mean? So maybe that they'll fade into maybe Yamato's little band. Like Yamato might have a troop now. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Just like
like a Thunderbolts, like a Thunderbolts.
Bro, like a
squad.
That would be crazy. But no, more like Odin. You know, Odin had his scabbards. Maybe this is the journey of her getting her scabbards.
Damn. And Momo becomes one of them.
You like that?
Because he's not able to protect Wano.
Not Odin, Momo. We're a big anti-Momo channel. If y'all new here,
I am. I can't speak for. Right. My hatred is my own. I'll take that.
The more months that go by that he is 28 years old, the less respect I'm gonna have for him if he doesn't do something. You know what I mean?
Because now I'm expecting 28-year-old shit. You know, I'm not expecting the 8-year-old shit anymore.
We like Black Clover here too. Yami always talks about how he's 28. Yami from Black Clover does shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the bar. Do something, Momo.
All right.
Starting off the
So
chapter, a lot's going on, though. Yeah.
We're back in Elbath, and I want to start off at the top. This is why you guys subscribe and like our page and our videos, because we have another theory that hit the mark. We are introduced to a new homie here, Nash, who is Goldberg's shield. And we've known this here on the, you guys have been watching us for months. You knew this was
coming. We got his character breakdown. Yeah.
And it's awesome. So we see two interesting moves here. We see Sanji and a Zoro team up. We obviously don't see that quite enough here in One Piece in general. It's nice to see how easily they take care of. I mean, they're giant monsters. These are monsters on Elbaf. So these.
Yeah, it's like a brontosaurus, pretty much. It has a name, the Grockysaurus, but it's basically a brontosaurus. Whatever, sure. Littlefoot. You know what I mean? I don't know the dinosaurs. But that being said, yeah, it's very interesting to see their dynamic. Zoro has all black blades, by the way. But it's very interesting to see their dynamic because they don't talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, Arame de Lair, I don't know what that is. That's just the same kick you always do with Zoro, where it's basically the fastball special. But they used to argue about it. They used to talk about it. Instinct now. Love that kind of shit. Goldberg and Nash, I like Nash as a concept of it being a homie, of just being like, you give a shield to a kid that has a personality, who maybe he's afraid, so the shield like helps motivate him to not be afraid. Maybe that's Nash, maybe it's not, but I do like how Nash like pumps himself up and can enlarge himself, much like Zeus can enlarge himself.
Yeah, it reminded me of, for those of you who are Game of Thrones fans, they had these shields in the Battle of the Bastards, like where they moved a couple feet in and then they stabbed it into the ground and then they speared through.
Yeah.
Moved a couple feet.
That's the old Spartan technique, actually.
Yeah. So it reminded me quite a bit of that just because of how it extended. It appears to enlarge when needed, which is cool.
And so like the Brontosaurus is attacking, it enlarges. Brontosaurus like basically gets stopped in the dust, and right after it's like basically dazed. It gets its neck cut off by Zoro. Very interesting. It reminded me of those giant blocks from the Mario Kart games and probably Mario stuff in general.
Oh, the little ones that like the rock ones that slant down. Yeah. And so Sanji's worried because like this thing is huge and all, and we just destroyed it, and it's going to be delicious, if we cook it with some sake, but I'm a little short on tools. So we learn about that there's a place called the Hunter's Cabin out here. So it'll be interesting if that has any type of
that's actually Goldberg that says the stuff about the sake, which is interesting because they don't have sake there, but he is the chef, you know what I mean? So it's refreshing to see Sanji talk about food with another chef, just normal food stuff. It's like, I get it. A lot's happening in the new world. You know what I mean? Well, but I miss these old character dynamics.
If you ever get, and people, and I'm not a high level athlete or anything like that, but I've been in rooms where like a high level coach and a high level like athlete are talking about a sport, and they're talking about things that go over my head. Like it's just that high level like conversation that you only get from meeting a master in your own craft. And that's what Sanji finally gets to have here is, Luffy will eat anything that he cooks. So at least
Zoro
this guy
won't
has
talk
some
to
taste.
The girls, it goes over their head. They just like that it tastes good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so Sanji then questions like, "Oh, is this thing over here like a devil fruit or what's going on?" And we learn that Nash is somewhat of a family heirloom. This was his pop's shield, I guess, and this is Goldberg's dad's shield when he went to take down Big Mom. And so we're all shocked. Like, what? Oh, Big Mom. We know Big Mom. We just beat Big Mom.
So it's like, and so yeah, they say it's kind of like Zeus. And well, yeah, I guess I'll say this part and then I'll say but yeah, it's kind of like Zeus. And then he's like, what? You guys know Zeus? That's the top commander of the homies. That, and then they just say, that's our navigator's servant now. He's like, what the hell? But that's One Piece. That's Oda right there, where it's like the top commander of the homies. Nobody's ever said that. Nobody said that in over 500 chapters.
It kind of reminds me a lot of like when Nami would like lock up Luffy in a cage.
Yeah.
It was like, wait, hold on, that's Luffy?
Yeah.
Hold on, that's the Straw Hat Luffy, and it's like, let me out, Rob.
Yeah, but that's
like,
Nami.
Yeah, but that's Nami here as well. Like Nami is the only one who can make the top commander Zeus her servant.
Yeah.
Like,
but that being said, so that's the theory. What Goldberg is like. So was it a shield that got a homie while they were trying to take down Big Mom, or was it one of her kids' shields that they took, much like they took Zeus? You know what I mean? So it's like those are the two theories, and then they come back, and then something happens, he's gone, gives it to Goldberg. But also, when did you guys try to take down Big Mom?
Boom, thank you. Great question. Are we talking about when she killed the Elder during the winter solstice? Because that wouldn't have been a Big Mom homie, that would have been a Mother Carmel homie. Which is fine. I don't mind that either.
But they also didn't try to take her down. They just kicked her off the island.
Yeah. So did they?
This shows like age. This shows like she was. This was like she was making conscious decisions at this point. My theory, now that we're just talking about it, maybe that marriage to Lola wasn't a real marriage.
Ooh, a little Trojan horse
Maybe
action?
It was a Trojan horse marriage.
Get in there, get like hey, this is my side of the wedding.
And she said no. I mean, we still don't know why she said no. She said something, but it's like, you said no. That's the joke. You say yes, you want to marry everybody, but you don't want to marry this guy. But why not?
Put it down in the comments if you guys want us to cover like all the theories we have about what Big Mom's wedding also kind of meant as well. The Big Mom relationships, because Big Mom has a lot of connections. Like Kaido,
Newgate, Rocks.
Newgate, Rocks, and then Rocks is connected to Loki. Kaido's probably connected to Loki. I mean,
her daughter was betrothed to Loki. Well, got proposed to by Loki. Like Jinbei connections. You got connections with like obviously Sanji and them. Like she's far-reaching. The Fishmen.
So, if this is a big trying to take down Big Mom, I'm thinking around the same time probably she's on the Rocks crew, because he can't be that old. Goldberg. I'm putting him around the same age as...
I can't agree with that. There's no way people are trying to take down a member of the Rocks crew while they're on the Rocks crew. Because that's like trying to attack like Chopper. Like, you're going to have to go through some people no matter what. Like, you're trying to attack Nami, trying to pick any Straw Hat. You're going to have to go through some people.
I think maybe right before... This is just
Yonko status.
What I'm thinking, though, is like, it has to be old enough to where his pops probably didn't come back from the war. Like, that's what I'm assuming. And so, like, he has to be like 15-ish. So maybe, and God Valley is about 38 years ago, so he's about 60, so about 45 years ago. I'm thinking, though, this is obviously just one picture right here, so I'm theorizing. I mean, this attack from the Giants could have shocked Big Mom in the way, like, maybe I do need to make allies. Maybe I can't go this shit alone. Maybe I do need a Rocks, a Kaido to help.
But I'm thinking after God Valley, Rocks Pirates disband. Like, shortly after God Valley, like, the Rocks Pirates disband. What better time to attack somebody than when they're freshly on their own and trying to build anew?
Very true.
Either way, what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below, because we got to talk about the Gods Knights.
Yep.
So
we head down to the underworld, and we're in the middle of the conversation. Where we have Loki, Hard, and Luffy, the squad basically just sitting around conversating. The Gods Knights, they showed up here, huh? So Luffy's just playing catch up. He's hearing this for the first time. He doesn't know what the God's Knights are. It's like people from the government? So they're the ones who beat your ass, huh? Hmm.
Harden is also like that kind of brother. He's like, so you must have got in trouble while we were gone, huh? He's like, no, of course not. I've been tied down here. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, while he was gone, so was
Yeah.
Loki on the open oceans, and then that's what the trouble came home.
Oh, while you were gone. Yeah, that's true. That's true. While he was on the open ocean. And he's like, no, like, this has nothing to do with the God's Knights. Like, nothing I did had anything to do with the God's Knights. But it's like, Harden don't believe him.
And he says a very specific line here. I'd already be king of the world
Yeah, if I did,
crossed paths with
that's
them.
true. If I managed to reach those people, I'd be king of the world already. Because that's the kind of damage I was trying to do. You know what I mean? They would have to send the top dogs after me.
And then, I mean, Luffy's staying silent, mumbling to himself. He's like, world government warriors? I've met all the warriors. Like he thinks of Marineford.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've met them all. And
Like,
there's no warriors.
He's like, red hair? Yeah, almost, bro. You're almost there, Luffy. Infiltrators that look like red hair. World government figure. Yeah, almost there. Maybe if Sanji was here, he could help you out. Goldberg is picking up the fucking Grachiosaurus. They're like, this thing's massive. Yeah, Goldberg is like, don't worry about me.
Yeah, I got this. They're super nutritious. Zoro, only thing he worried about, he's like, hey, just to let you guys know, I took it down. Hey, big pimping over here, all right? Hey, see that slash? How clean that shit was? Sanji couldn't do that. That was all me. He's like, Stanson, did you give me some wood? Yeah, of course I got you some wood. It's over here.
Yeah, like,
who do you think,
bro? The dynamic between Zoro and Sanji, and then Stanson and Goldberg is like Zoro. He's like, oh, I thought that was just like broccoli flying through the sky, and then Stanson and Goldberg was like, hey, did you get the wood? Yeah, here. Thanks for the Grachiosaurus. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah. They're like friends, like actual true friends.
Yeah. Like, I like that little dynamic panel.
Zoro and Sanji are more like brothers, if anything, and that's fine. But who do you, I guess real quick, doesn't really matter question. Who cooks? Goldberg or Sanji?
I think Goldberg starts cooking. Sanji tells him about some spices and stuff to add on. Because Sanji's like, I'm a guest. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm doing here.
Or whenever like Goldberg leaves, you see Sanji like jumping in, like using his skywalk to like dash in some like spices, like, man, you're not using enough garlic. Like, what is this? Paprika is what this was.
That would be interesting. Nice little cooking scene. Shout out to what was that cooking?
Food Wars.
Food Wars. Yeah. Shout out to the.
I never watched it, but I mean, yeah, there's manga out there for everyone, dude. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
But
you gotta pay the bills, I guess. You gotta pay the bills to make an anime. I'll say that. And the food parts were good.
Did you watch it? Is that what you're telling me? Is there more to this?
Well,
okay, we're moving on.
I've seen parts of the show.
Okay, we'll talk about it after. Put it in the chat if you know what Corey's talking about. I have no idea.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But Luffy, talking about food. Luffy's trying to feed Loki, but it's Luffy, so he's like, here, eat this.
And Sanji always gives him a rule, like, hey, dude, the first piece is not yours. You're here to help us hand out, and then you can eat. So he literally hits him probably harder than Gunko did to give him this piece of meat, and it basically gives him another concussion.
He's like, bro,
you trying to kill me, bro?
You ain't gonna heal unless you eat. He's like, okay, well, fuck it. At least I could heal from this new injury too, I guess.
And so he just eats, but he's like, hey, dude, it's tough to chew and, lay down. Can you help me sit up? Starts coughing. So here comes Luffy being the very nice man he is with some steaming. And I mean, it's still boiling at the top. Steaming cup of something. Is it tea? Soup. And he just throws it at Loki to the point where
he burns him. It's like all up on his shoulder too. He's like, oh, yo.
Gerd makes an interesting comment. Looks like he got himself another burn. Ding, ding, ding. Burn man scar, here we
Yeah,
are.
the
Loki.
man marked by flames, huh? That would be very interesting if his devil fruit is a fire-based devil fruit that hurts him. We don't get a lot of devil fruits that hurt the user, but that would
Interesting.
be very interesting if it actually hurts him because of whatever concept it is of the flame. Uh,
Okay.
but he's like,
So
"Hey,
you're
get
thinking
Luffy away from me, far away from
like the
me."
blue flame guy from Dobby from My Hero,
Yeah, where his
where
body
he had
couldn't
to like,
handle it.
yeah, he had to like get his like face redone because like of the how hot the flame. Interesting. I
Yeah,
like that.
but I can't. It probably won't be the same as Dobby only because there's no way this guy's body couldn't take the heat. You know what I mean? Like
Fair.
being
Fair enough.
Loki, Prince of the Giants, kind of thing like that.
Mm, okay.
Possible future giant, sun god. Like, who knows? But yeah, Gerd is like, yeah, don't worry, I'll get him out of here. He's like, no, 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 that's my bad, that's my bad. I'm helping. Stupid Luffy.
And so Sanji, I guess, is still a little confused on why Loki's so hated. He's like, why did the what did this guy do to make everyone hate him so much? And so he has to kind of, I guess, get the lowdown on it as well, like why this guy is here. While everyone else kind of continues with the story of like, unfortunately, like we're gonna talk about red hair now, but you guys still promised and you haven't taken off the chains. Like, I'm not gonna tell you where red hair is until you take off these chains.
He's like, you really want
What
to
did
meet
you
him like
kind of?
that bad? Yeah, Harden's
Harden
just
is awfully quiet
he is
here.
just he's just watching his brother. It's just like like Harden probably got bullied, obviously got bullied by Loki. You know what I mean? So
We
it's
already
like
saw it. Yeah.
you the family dynamic for Harden and Loki is definitely complex. And he's getting hit with a lot right now. Like people are talking to my brother like he's a normal guy, like he's being personable, like not like friendly, but just personable. Like being like you're able to talk to this guy. Like he's telling me he didn't kill my dad in cold blood. Like things that I've believed for what? How long has he been down there? 6 years?
6 years.
Yeah, things I believe for 6 years. That's a lot of time. That's almost 2,000 days. Now that's a giant, so let's shorten it down to like whatever days it is.
It's
But
been 2 months. Yeah. It's like,
but it's still like I've been carrying this burden on my shoulder, and then this burden of how I feel about you even longer. So now I got to sit here
yeah.
and question like who I am.
That is interesting because very few of us have been in a situation like this. But hearing the full story is always important, just because you never really know the truth from hearing one side. If you're not there, you always have to hear Loki's side, and Loki may embellish as well. He may make himself look better in some areas, and then we find out it's more neutral. But
It could also be like
we,
he doesn't even talk to his brother. Like you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
people call your brother a liar, and you call your brother a liar, but you don't sit there and even talk to him like this. You know what I
How do
mean?
you know? Yeah, how
And
do you
also,
know?
it's
How
like,
do you
bro, Luffy, my captain, stop. He's a bad guy. Stop. I can't tell my captain no. There's a lot of
And so,
dynamics he's got to go through, so sucks for Harden right now.
I mean, I don't know. We may end up hating Harden by the end. Like he may be the bad brother out of the trio or the two of them for right now.
The trio.
Sorry. That's my fault. But we get some lore. We're dude. This is rich. You guys were here for the spoilers, so you guys know this part already. We're about to deep dive into the rocks. Loki is putting in some insight into kind of how he feels. He's really connecting with Luffy here. He's like, I get it though. Like looking up to a pirate when you're just a kid. Luffy's like, oh, it sounds like you have somebody like that as well. He's like, yeah, I did. He's like, all right, bro, we get it. He's not here anymore. It's neither is Shanks, who is somebody you're not letting me see. Okay, this is on you. But then we get a flashback. Too bad you were just a brat back then, and so we get a flashback. I'm assuming Hachinosu, right? This is
Oh,
Rox's area.
it could be. It's very interesting. I want to know whose silhouettes these are that we're looking at. But we have Rox obviously facing us away from Loki, and we have Loki being like, "Take me with you. I didn't come all this way to," and he's like, "I didn't come all this way to meet a snot nosed little punk." Actually, I think they're on They got to be on like Elbaf, because I think those are all cups next to these people, and those bottles up there are giant bottles.
Oh,
and
fair enough.
I didn't come all this way like to end the grand line so I could fucking babysit a snot nosed little punk. You know what I mean?
I'll have to look at the map after the show. I don't know how far away Hachinosu really is from Elbaf. I can't imagine I think it's on the second half of the Grand Line, though. So I think we're... Anyways, carry on. Sorry.
Well, no, yeah. Basically, Loki doesn't like that. He's like, let's fight for it. Like, and the impression is, like, Rox is like, oh, whatever, I'll just stab this kid until he leaves me alone.
I mean, look, and I said this in the Rox spoiler show, like, this is giving me Whitebeard may have learned from this moment
with Ace
what he was going to do to Ace. Like, you have to, and for those of you who like WWE wrestling, they kind of do this on your first day of wrestling camp. They'll actually like break your ankle, and that'll weed out the fakers. The people who come back the next day are the people who are legit.
Yeah.
So Rock's here going all out. If Loki shows back up and gets his ass whooped again, it's like, all right, dude, maybe you are welcome here.
Yeah, but if he quits after I just beat him up one time, it's like, bro, you're gonna get beat up out here. You know what I mean?
We have Big Mom, and she's an asshole. Yeah. So
not even against us, other pirates' life. Like the Strawhats been through some shit on their 3 months of being together on the seas. Like they have been through some shit. But yeah, but Loki's just kind of like, I was born in the wrong era.
Which I will have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure it's something Roger specifically said, like about being like he wished he was born in a different era with Joy Boy or Nika. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think Pedro also said it. Yep, Pedro vibes too. Pedro and Roger. But okay. Roger just didn't beat up the kids.
Put it in the comment section if you guys want us to circle back on that one, because that'll take some research.
Put in the comment section all your favorite characters who tried to be pirates when they were kids. Let us know your ranking of them. Because like there's a lot of them. The Luffy, the Pedro, the Loki. Like there's a lot of these. But moving on to more action-based stuff, the Giant Warrior Pirates, the real Giant Warrior Pirates, are facing off against the Nightmares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, 6 of them are attacking them all at once, and it's easy work for Dory Broggy and our boy Scopper Gabon.
Yep. And it is interesting. It is interesting here. One of them confuses one of the Nightmares for Loki. So that, and again, we've talked about it. None of these little text bubbles are just accidentally words or a weird conversation. Like Oda wants these words on this page, so somebody on Elbaf is probably afraid of Loki. That classroom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sorry. And so like this. Oh no, don't.
Yep.
We're a team, bro. And this is one. Is that Loki? And then so they easily swipe through all of them though. Is that the hammer one that has like the one on the left? Yeah, that's definitely it.
And what's very interesting is what Scopper says. Good thing those things were born from these kids' imagination. If they'd seen the real monsters, they'd be even stronger. So
yeah,
that's actually kind of wild, because that means I'm fully now believing that all these are giant actual creatures. So I'm thinking the mom, yeah, it's your mom, but it's like that's pretty much Big Mom. Like these are all, just like we said, we did a review of like a breakdown of all these. They are analogs for people we will see either in the story now or in the future. And this is kind of doubling down on that thought. Like if you've seen the real ones, oh, then all these are real. Like that flying creature, that is whatever Goro say that is. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
But either way, Yan-san showing like out. That.
And I mean, he's right, and I guess it also begs the question, like maybe we will see some older people nightmares. Imagine seeing like I mean, I guess for Yasan, is that Garp? Is that God Valley Garp is his biggest fear? Because that'd be mine. Like I'd be
Hey,
scared of that shit.
a random Marine's nightmare of a Kainu versus Kobe's nightmare of a Kainu would be two very different Akainus.
Oh, that is great. But that's I mean that's true. And I wonder if the amount of fear or anything has the correlation to HP or power level to the nightmare. Like, no, I'm deathly afraid of spiders, and it's like that spider basically is immortal.
Yeah,
And it's
like
like, no,
it's basically the Gorosei. Don't even
but
touch me.
that's how you overcome. Like the kids have to be the ones to beat the nightmares. And I think Luffy might have a little piece of that, by the way, because he's also shared his power already once.
The
So,
Gorosei's devil fruits were made from nightmares. I'm now taking this where the devil fruits are made by the wills of the humans. They're made from will. I believe they're special devil fruits made by ill will or ill intent. I'm now
I like
jumping
that.
on that bandwagon.
I like that quite a bit. We get an interesting little part of the chapter for Yasan, our Scopper Kaban. Looks like there's more out there. He senses the three Gods Knights up on the upper ring. But then he also talks about a strange voice that can't be hidden any longer. He can feel this voice clear as day. So, I mean, obviously we have theories, voice of all things. We are actually talking in the pre-show. Corey has a theory about it possibly being Emu,
Yeah, I think
maybe a
it's
little
just
voice of Emu.
the residual energy from Emu's summoning circles because I think that power is linked to Emu, much like the Gorosei have power linked to Emu. So I think wherever those summoning circles are, is kind of it's like radiating a malice energy or something like that. That's kind of like his voice. You know what I mean?
Sure. And since you're a big Harry Potter fan, such as myself,
Mm,
I imagine like remember like the whispers that the Horcrux gave off. Like that's like he's hearing that from like the portals.
that.
Like that's that something like that is right where I'm
Woo!
taking that. I like that idea.
I like that one.
that's, that's fire. I like that. But now we're in the firefighter squad. We're in Fire Force now anymore. We stopped covering One Piece. We're into Fire Force. We're using the Sea Cloud water, which is pretty interesting. I like that quite a bit. It it answers a lot of I guess of our logistics questions. Like, how did you guys get the water? Did you guys have a hose running all the way? No, they just suck in the clouds that are right next to them and then spit out water.
From the
Which
ground too. It's like you just
yeah,
plug these things up to the ground. Like here you go.
which
Very,
is interesting.
very convenient.
I wonder if the sea cloud like they like evaporate for a while and then like as it rains it like they'll grow or something like a plant.
Yeah,
I don't
like
know.
does the water just go back to the sea cloud and then seep back into the sea cloud like a sponge? Very interesting. But
And I guess I'd have to go back and listen to or read what Ripley said, but I thought they couldn't put out the flames on these. I thought they had to cut off limbs of the tree.
no, Ripley said that there was a village on one of the branches that caught
Mhm.
fire, and they're like, "Hey, sometimes we got to get rid of a branch to save the tree."
Oh,
Before they were speaking about how these flames were uncontrollable at the moment. That's before the firefighter. Well, even with the firefighter unit, like these,
oh,
we're getting to that point where it's like you might have to cut this branch off, but
gotcha.
save Jinbei. We
Yeah,
forget there's fishmen in these trees. You know what I mean? Y'all lucky.
yeah.
But actually, it gets
But
kind of intense because it's like the kids are still walking, they're still asleep. This is probably gonna be crazy animated. Saul's
yeah,
yelling. He took down like you're probably gonna see the fight with Saul and that Fenrir wolf, but you're gonna keep panning over to the kids. The fire's all burned and stuff like that. One Piece and Fire have been crazy lately with their lighting, but that's
yeah.
gonna be crazy. Gunko, it's gonna be flashing to Gunko making her weird ass and like announcements like, "Hey, they'll wake up from the heat crying for their parents with faces full of pain, and in the end, they'll be nothing but bones swallowed by the flames. I saw some analogs on Twitter where it was like, bro, is this Lost Sister? And it's not, because that would be a D-Clan member. But their home burned down. You know what I mean?
Ooh, you almost had me. You almost had me. I was like,
their home did burn down, and that has been shown in One Piece before, where like the kids are like crying while the flames is like consuming her. But that seems like something that Gunko is looking forward to, or at least not fazed by.
This is gross, and I'm guessing Summers is the very next like speech bubbles. It's like, hey, that's kind of touching though, isn't it? Like, bro, you guys are gross. Like, you're talking about like just frying up some children.
Summers is full on laughing, howling, cackling. You know what I mean? He's like, that's kind of touching, right? I had to thinking about them when they die. That's kind of, bro. Summers is a psychopath. You know what I mean?
And the first time I read this, I read Gunko saying it like kind of plainly. But what if like instead it's more of I'm now realizing what's about to happen? Like, no, they're actually about to wake up crying out for their parents because they're in pain. Like, that's what I'm about to do.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for a traitor on all teams, even the Straw Hats, and this is giving me some tingles of
she could be like, saying it like what
remorseful.
Like, yeah, she could be like this is about to happen right now. Like this is not like this is something that we're about to watch, and this dude's straight up laughing in her ear, patting her on the back. Exactly, patting her on the back. Oh, you crazy for this one? But
wow, we gonna tell everyone about all the kids you killed. It's like no. But our boy Jinbei's here.
He does the same exact
move.
No, same move he used. This is the move he used to get everybody to Marineford with the ship. This is the same move that he used to take down a bunch of ships over in Wano too. That's just his patented move. It's just he's doing it above ground this time, not underwater.
So, is this different from the shoulder throw? Is this like the more?
I think it's the same. Throw? I think it's the exact same thing. It's just I'm using the ground clouds besides just being submerged in water and throwing the water around me. But it's still water, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, best waterbender in the series. Bam. So, I mean, the boy really...
He's damn near Katara, honestly, if he felt like it.
I mean, shit, dude, honestly. That's what's kind of...
Only thing stopping him is freezing shit.
That's true. And then, like, everyone's kind of just sitting there like, oh, thanks, Jinbei. You're such a helpful guy. I mean, and remember, we're with the Call-In Pirates here. So
the weak trio love cheering for somebody. You know what I mean? They love cheering for somebody. But yeah, we're with the Call-In Pirates.
Which is just Colin. And then the Straw Hat Pirates. So it's like we're the Call-In Pirates. This image shit. And like a lot of you guys at home may have also been confused. I know I was. I think Corey was as well. This picture, it's all whited out for me. I didn't really understand what was going on. But I'm assuming that this is where the splashdown happens. Like, this is the giant, like, incursion point for all the water and the fire. So this is probably, like, steam combusting up.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's, like, the aftermath of it. Because it's, like, you're seeing two things happen at the same time, I guess. You're seeing him throw it, jump over, but by the time he, like, jumps over, like, the water hits, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just very it'll be animated more smoothly, like understanding wise, time wise, but it's like, you know what I mean? We're jumping around in time a little bit. But yeah, everybody, the Giants are kind of hype about that. He's like, you guys are gods, fucking protecting us like that. And like, no, we're just people. Colin's kind of like, gods. Hey, Jinbei. Colin's like, hey, Jinbei, one of them ones.
Dude, and at the end of the day, it is nice that we also get the weak trio for the Giants cheering on people in Dory, Broggy, and I forget what's his name, but it's one of the ones that were outside of the guarding the outside of Water 7.
Oimo.
But anyways, the Oimo. So they're out here cheering on the firefighters, which it's a thankless job. No one thanks you if you can't put the fire out, and no one really cares
Giants
if you
have
do.
manners, man. They be saying your pleases and thank yous and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. Like, okay, Elbaf, you ain't bad. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But before things get good, they get a little bit worse because Gunko shows up on the on the Colin pirate ship, and she's got her arrow. She's ready. I guess she really wanted to see the flames, or she's very interested in who stopped the flames. But she's about to attack.
True. Yeah, and we may in the next chapter we may get like a little like quick flashback to Summer's like, oh, somebody extinguished the flame, and then her flying down or
She
whatever.
also said
So
there's a kid left too, so she could just be there to get Colin.
there was a kid out of school, huh? I was waiting for like a truancy joke here, like, oh, I better, but a pretty rowdy one, like because he's screaming at the top of his lungs.
But there, I can
I
kind of see how this skirmish is going to go right now.
tell us. I mean, write the next chapter
First,
so 1146 can come faster.
Jinbei is going to be the first one to try to attack, or maybe Usopp will say something. Jinbei will not be able to fight because he'll be tied up because he's a brawler. He's not going to be familiar with her ability. He'll be tied up and dispatched. We're going to see the extent of the strength of them bands. You know what I mean? Like, oh, Jinbei can't break them. Usopp's going to try to do some stuff, but it's going to get deflected because she can use those as shields. She's going to tie up Usopp. Brook, I don't know what's going to happen yet. She's going to tie up Nami, but Nami has the ability to use her ability without her arms. So I think it's going to be a combination of Zeus popping up because we just talked about Zeus this chapter.
Yes.
And a combination of what's his name? Soul ability. Brook's soul ability. Now, what that soul ability will do, I do not know, but those are the two people that are able to use abilities while being constrained. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what happens with that. And also, we can see, like, if Gunko gets knocked out, does your ability stop? Is this like that toy person? You know what I mean?
Oh, fair enough. And how I see it kind of breaking down is basically the same. I guess the order's a little different. Everyone else besides Colin and Nami fall because there are fighters. Jinbei's going to step up first, then Usopp, then Brook, and then like Colin, I guess, because he's going to protect the lady. But then Colin getting taken down is going to trigger Nami into like Zeus overload. Like she's going to be pissed or something. That's kind of how I see it shaping up. But
oh my god, this is obvious, bro. This is obvious.
Just take them all out.
They're all going to be constrained. Like I said, Nami and Brook are the only ones that are going to be able to use their abilities. Nami will use Zeus first, and then Brook will use his soul ability, and then she'll be like, "Is that the Soul King?"
Oh, I like that a lot. Well, shouldn't she recognize here?
Not with a helmet on and like a weird, like not your fucking Soul King clothes.
Interesting. I wonder. I want to see the album cover. I mean, because look,
would you
what you're wearing?
Would you recognize Cameron if he was wearing some Wranglers and a tall tee?
Who?
Okay, exactly, just some rapper. Would you?
No, but I would recognize if I had his album and I'm staring at the only skeleton I know that walks around, that has feet.
But they might not know he's a skeleton though.
No, I know. That's why I want the album.
I'm very interested. I'm very interested now in this dynamic because Gunko is looking at Brook right now.
Like right there, I agree.
Our last video was literally about this, and I can't believe like this. We didn't even talk about this.
What, dude? What if she like after whooping her ass, like their ass, like she's like, "Hey, can I get like an autograph or something?"
Or like he's.
I will show you my panties.
Like, there's got to be a reason in the last panel. How often is Brook just playing his guitar to cheer people on? You know what I mean? He has his guitar with him. I don't know.
Does he? I'll have to go back and look. That's crazy.
It is, because right when they were like, "Good job, Jinbei," he's playing guitar. Bro, all right, it's been 45 minutes. We gotta go. You guys write down in the comments below your favorite part of the chapter. Anything we missed, we want to hear how you guys feel about it. That's Kev. I'm Corey. We'll be back next time.
Peace.